So today I'm going to be talking about the Vespa and how a scooter created in the post-war years became a banner for youthful revolt, modernity and style. So how did a cheap, reliable scooter born out of post-war depression become so iconic in Italy's image all over the world? So I'm going to start by briefly talking about the beginnings and design and how that made it unique. You do have a handout as well. But then how can it be unique when it has a rival? Then how the Vespa helped with youth groups' rivalry overseas, and then icons from overseas helping elevate Vespa's status, and then present feelings towards the icon and why. Okay. So it was created by Piaggio in the 1940s because the Italian government were offering grants for those who could provide transport for war-torn Italy, basically. And the scooter was inexpensive, it could dodge potholes, didn't need much gasoline, and it could accommodate a family of four in great style. Because by 1950, Italian traffic increased by 50%, and 80% of that traffic were scooters. So it was clean, it was simple, it was usable, and pitched directly at youth and women markets. It was promoted in quite a seductive way. It was a stylish product and it was presented stylishly, and the Italianness of it epitomised everything trendy, chic, modern, cosmopolitan and international. And it came in a time where it was part of a tendency to use material products as means of representation. So it displayed taste and cultural distinction as well. And the design appealed to comfort, convenience and vanity as well. So you didn't need any specialist clothing when riding the Vespa like you would do a motorbike. There were no oil stains or anything, and it was easy to use. So I'm going to show you an advert just to give you a taster of how it was promoted. So as you can see, you got the sort of Mastroianni look-alike and the sort of young people and looking all cool, and you got the music as well at the time. So this obviously appealed greatly to youth. And it soon became a symbol of nationhood because of this. By 1960, 1 million Vespas had been sold, and Lambretta sales closely rivaled this figure. So now I'm just going to show you why you got that in your mind, comparing it with a Lambretta advert. I must warn you, it will get stuck in your head. Okay, so you got the young people dancing again. There's lots of similarities. It's a bit try-hard, it gets a bit ridiculous. Not like that. And it's kind of trying to push it to go international as well, with all the different sort of people on the Lambretta. But yeah, that's been stuck in my head for a good few weeks now. So yeah, in 1947, the Lambretta was the Vespa's first competitor, and it was produced with the same aim basically, as to deal with the hardship of post-war travel. Both scooters did remobilise Italy, but it did cause this power battle between the two. So they tried to outpace each other. So the scooter that could only once do 35 miles per hour could now do over 70. And the elegantly designed Vespa didn't have to change too much, but the Lambretta did, design-wise. And by 1958, both scooters looked practically identical. So rivalry then, when talking about icons, can make an object or artist more iconic. So the battles between Oasis and Blur, Coke and Pepsi, for example, that battle, that fight for the same spot, makes them both famous, and it pushes discourse into what is unique about the icon and pinpoint what is good basically, and create a hierarchy. So it's part of the icon building process, and in a way personifies these forms of transport. So I'm going to talk a bit about 1960s Britain now, with the mods and the rockers. So despite this rivalry, the Italian scooter was used by mods in Britain because they were into anything Italian, clean, elegant, modern, and the bright colours of the Vespa contradicted the gloomy colours of wartime, and everything the Vespa represented was the antithesis of wartime. You know, it was about freedom, love, youth, sex and fun. And it kind of represented Italy as the home of male narcissism, as well as the home of good taste. So this appealed greatly to the effeminate mods in their rivalry with the rockers. And these subcultures were created due to sort of real problems in society and being sort of distinctive. And the Italian scooter was an identity marker for the mods, along with the continental clothing and the hairstyle. The rockers, on the other hand, They were more butch into their British-made motorbikes, very nationalistic and had this sort of exaggerated masculinity. And in the mods' eyes, they were dirty and ignorant, whereas the mods were pansy and soft to the rockers, and they were sort of from lower middle class, upper working class backgrounds, very sophisticated and suave. And in 1964, the clashes between the two subcultures caused great media attention. So this really put the scooter on the map in Britain. So it soon became motorbike versus scooter. So these bodies and machines represented the youth groups and the people on them. And because the Vespa embodied those ideals and became part of the movement, it became much more than just a form of transport. So now I'm going to talk about icons overseas, international stars as well. So here we have the 24-year-old Audrey Hepburn with Gregory Peck in this iconic scene from Roman Holiday. And this image was sort of tied, their image was tied to the scooter, and like the quote says, we fell in love with the Vespa as well. And it sort of cemented the image of that era, and we kind of look through it at rose-tinted glasses, just at a happier time. And since then, the Vespa's appeared in no fewer than 64 films, including, you know, we have stars such as Magnani and Mamma Roma, Mastroianni there, top right. The one on the left is Charlene Heston, behind the scenes of Ben-Hur. I just thought it was funny because he's in his full outfit, but he's getting from set to set on a Vespa. I thought it was a nice image. So this association of fashion goods with supermodels, you know, American film stars, beautiful celebrities, triggers this aspirational impulse of emulation for the consumer. So if I wear designer label X, for example, maybe I'll acquire the exclusivity of star Y. And so this international stardom really did elevate Vespa's status worldwide. So nostalgia then. Nostalgia is sort of collected memories invoked in times of turmoil and intensive change. So the decades following World War II really made cases of nostalgia that provided a sense of comfort and stability in consumers' minds and kind of, you know, the good old days. And Vespa was a symbol of national hope and optimism, and it was designed to be stylish in a world of post-war drudgery. So the contrast really did help as well. And just a little checklist, was it a transitional stage for a particular generation? Yes. You know, it provoked utopianism. The brand engendered a longing for an idealised past. So when we look back at it today, we do long for that again, that freedom, that liberty. Solidarity then inspires a sense of belonging to a community, to its users, as we discussed the mods. They belong to a group, a community, because of the scooter. And can it be updatable ideologically and technologically? Well, technologically, yes, because on the sheet there's a newer version, they're always updating it. Ideologically then, I'm going to just finish by showing you this recent-ish advert for Vespa India, which I thought was quite interesting. So just by flashing that just at the end, it didn't really show anybody on a Vespa, it just was advertising these ideals that the Vespa embodies and represents, and to an extent Italy as well. You know, without having to plaster the Italian flag over everything, without having this European guy eating a slice of pizza on the back of one, they don't need any of that anymore. Everybody knows where it's from and what it represents. It's an icon in its own right, and everybody knows that. So with this combination of nostalgia, rivalry and stardom then, they're all fundamental values when speaking about the iconicity of Vespa globally, and how it's managed to maintain all that throughout its existence. So I hope I've proved that to you today. Thank you very much. This is my... And are there any questions?